Have you ever wondered the difference between consequences and repercussions? We have often um, misconstrued both words and to mean what each other means. Sometimes we actually think we're talking about consequences, meanwhile we're actually talking about repercussions, and that think we're talking about repercussions, meanwhile it's just a consequence. And in this month, I would want to address the repercussion mindset. The mindset is a state of thought or opinion or a kind of opinion or thought or belief held about a particular thing, held about a particular subject, held on a particular matter. And the the beauty of mindsets is they inform our actions and inactions. They inform our experiences. They inform what we eventually give ourselves to do. And in this repercussion mindset thing, we have a lot and a long way to go because we have been subtly trained to expect repercussions that has made change and conversion difficult. You know, there is this emphasis on reaping what you sow so much that we forget that the farmer can abandon the farm. Mhm. That we can actually, in one time of our life, own a vineyard where we were sowing very, very horrible seeds and abandon the farm. And both the seed and the dividends of its period of incubation in the soil, we are not going to see it. How do I know this? Are you speaking from a Jesus standpoint? Are you speaking from a Christian standpoint? Yes. But it's not how life works. How many bad people who did not give their life to Christ have reaped the harvest of their bad? If you're in Africa, you just want to check your political space. Allegedly. Allegedly. All right, so let's get serious. Repercussions are the reflections or the reverberations or the outcome or effect or impact of a particular activity. Now, over a period of time. Consequences do not need a period of time always, but repercussions will always need a period of time. Now, you need to understand what the consequence is. If you don't eat in a day, you'll be hungry. But not eating in one day is not powerful enough to give you kwashiorkor. Not eating in one day is not powerful enough to give you hypoglycemia, right? You are like that is to make you like diagnose you that now you are now dealing with kwashiorkor or you are dealing with a particular deficiency as a result of not eating. One day sleeping a meal one day is not powerful enough to do that, but it is strong enough to make you feel weak, make you feel dizzy, maybe give you a headache and a stomach a tingle in your belly that indicates the need for food. Yes, it's powerful enough to have such consequences, but it's not powerful enough to have such effects of, oh, because you didn't eat one day, you are suddenly an ulcer patient. I don't know if you get my point already. I'm saying that repercussions require consistency of an action over time to yield an effect that will last. Consequences, on the other hand, is the dividend or the result of an action. So when I don't eat or I skip meals, the consequence of not eating today is that I was hungry today, I was weak, I had headache and all of that. The repercussion cannot be today. I would only have repercussion if not eating becomes a habit, if not eating becomes a long-term engagement I operate by. Now, why am I drawing this out? Is the repercussion mindset is what makes people expect evil to happen to them simply because a period of time in their life they were involved in some wrong or did some wrong thing. And the beauty of this is that this wrong thing they did or didn't do not always have to be grand. I've met persons whose childhood memories contain some wrong behaviors, and now that they are grown ups, young adults, they still attribute some mishaps occurring in their life to those things that happened in the days of their ignorance. And you see, the truth is repercussions exist, but repercussion mindset should not be one thing you carry as an adult. It should not be one thing you carry as a human being. You should not expect repercussions. Now, this is not to encourage carelessness or act differently, but you should not be expecting repercussions when they did not come. Because every human being is prone to change. And you see, once you have changed, you should be expecting the effect of your changed behavior, not the effect of your disengaged behavior. So take for instance, someone who used to be involved in drugs, substances. The consequence of that was all the effects, all the behaviors the person manifested as they utilized those hard substances. Now, when they go to rehabilitation and they change the behavior, they begin to have consequences of the good behavior. Now, a person like that who had no health issue in as much as they were exposed to such harmful things should not somehow suddenly start expecting, when they are not sick, to suddenly have a cancer or any of the sicknesses that arise from that just because they used to do it some 5 years, 10 years ago. And the beautiful thing I notice about repercussion mindset is that it's actually the good people that have repercussion mindset. The real bad guys don't have repercussion mindset. I discovered this with a few conversations I've had with people who have lived very horrible lifestyle, and I met them having the best time of their life, and I asked them a question: how do you battle the conscience? Well, I've repented, I've changed. That used to be me in the past. I'm no longer that person. And I was like, what? Yes, I'm no longer that person. And so everything I'm doing right now, I am seeing the effect of what I am doing. And that shifted my mind, because the fact that I used to be very notorious as a child does not mean I would not amount to anything. I'm no longer a child. I have stopped childish behaviors. So I don't need to have dividends of childhood in adulthood. I want this to sink in. I don't need to have dividends of past mistakes in present deliberate actions that have nothing to do with that. And the reason I'm bringing this to you within this season is the mindset of repercussion prevents you from enjoying the dividends of your actual action. So you see, someone who is doing so much good, contributing to society right now, but has a guilty conscience that keeps reminding him or her about the past that they lived, or the past that they experienced, or the past that they went through, will rob you of the joys and the beauties that come in the present. Because somehow, whilst you're doing things contrary to what you used to do, your expectation is that of which you used to do, which cannot be manifest. And so somehow you begin to engineer your life to manifest what you expect to see. Like a friend will say you are looking for what you want to find. You're not looking for you're not looking for something you don't know. You're looking for something you want to find. So you already know what it is you're looking for, and you want until you see it. So anything contrary to that, you don't believe. How do I? So imagine you struggled a whole lot growing up. A typical example, because it's a common hot place, school. You struggled in school. If you're like me, that they told you we push wheelbarrow and sell pepper and all of those kind of things, and you struggled with school and all, and over time and again you heard how much of a failure you are, how much unintelligent you are, how much of a disgrace, and then you pushed yourself, right? Well, you never made it in academics, but you made it in other aspects of life. You maybe developed your talent so well, and you're creative, or you're able to do other things that academically you can't judge it on the academical scale. Rather, it's difficult for you to see yourself as an intelligent person, because all you first of all understood to be intelligence was academics. And so even though you are manifesting intelligence that people even in the academic space are admiring and want to be like, you cannot enjoy the experience of being your own person just because you do not function well. And so even though you're doing something good external of academics, a part of you still hopes to fail at it. You still hope to do a bad job. You still hope to have a problem with that design. You still hope to have a mistake. Your expectation is negative because you expect that because of what you had been throughout the past, you should not be better at anything else. And so you can't see the beauties you produce, you can't see the goodness you exude, you can't see the loveliness and the expertise you yield or you show forth in other things just because it's etched deep in your mind that you are amounting to nothing. And so you are expecting nothingness even when there's so much bounty. And so your dividends, your goodness, your beautiful experiences, your victory, your life that is better than all the nonsense they describe is striving, and you are void of the experience. You're sad. You are detached from it. People applaud you and wonder what's wrong with you because you evade, you run away, just because you are waiting for a confirmation to the bias that was given to you due to a past life. I see this one is deep because I dealt with it. Right, I was expecting some very horrible things to happen to me because of some behaviors we did at childhood. And I got to a point where I realized that nemesis does not exist until somebody decides to be nemesis. And so, if no one decides to be nemesis, there really would be no nemesis. The implication of that was I realized that nothing was coming back to haunt me. Nothing from the past. Not being nothing from the past. Not the way I was stubborn at home, not the way I was tough with siblings, not the way I was careless. Nothing is coming to haunt me in the future from that past. Why? Because it is past, so both it and its consequences are gone. The consequences were the things I experienced as a result of that: the shoutings, the bad words, the anger I incited in people, all those beautiful things. Oh, glory to God! Old things are passed away. You cannot keep expecting your life to be as a result of actions you no longer do. You cannot keep expecting your life to be as a result of an action you once did it even only once, and suddenly it should characterize all that makes you. And see, this is the problem of repercussion. This is the problem of the repercussion mindset. So what do you do? I think this will be one of my shortest teachings because the solution to this is what I taught last time. The first thing is self-forgiveness. But the second thing is what many people do not do. That's renewal of mind. Now, I would have loved to recommend affirmations, but you see, the power of affirmations is that we believe what we are saying, first of all. So you only affirm what you believe. The problem with it is many people are using affirmations without faith in what they're saying, and so we recite it like a rhyme, and it becomes a cliche and not an experience for us. So I would not say affirmations, I would say change your belief system. First, about yourself, and second, about your life. No, I didn't say about life in general, your life. Why? Because life has many rules and principles that occur naturally with or without you. You are at liberty to determine how you get involved and how you wield these principles and natural occurrences to your favor as long as you can control it. So the natural occurrences you can't really control are the ones that are that nature itself is in charge of, like natural disasters, the rain, the sun. You can't really do much about that. I mean, it take a supernatural influence for you to be able to do anything about it. So the ones you can, like the things you would do to make money, the things you would do to be hardworking, the things you would do to have good results, things you would do to have a better life, to be in a better place, to have a better circle of friends. Yes, you can rewrite your story by yourself, deploying the principles of life that has its natural effects and natural consequences. And you can, from a very ugly standpoint, reroute yourself. The first thing I said is self-forgiveness. Please consult our previous video to learn about self-forgiveness. The second thing is you must believe, re-engineer your belief, rewrite what you believe. Develop a new faith in things going forward, in everything you intend to do going forward. That's the second. The third thing is it's quite easy. Now confess and work towards what you believe. Now, it's funny, but once you've forgiven yourself, once you have created new belief systems that are in line with your current actions and activities, the next thing is to actually start acting in line with what you now believe. So act it out. Stop expecting evil. Yes, evil had happened to you for a period of time consistently. Now you know better. Stop expecting it. Stop saying, oh, because I did this to this person, that's why this will happen to me. Okay, you did this to this person, that's why this should happen to you. It happened to you the first time. It's happening to you a second time, it's happening to you a third time. Are you the only person that did something to somebody? There are people who have done worse that did not have anything happen to them. Act towards what you want. Stop working. See, whatever you have before your eyes is what you would expect to occur. Whatever you keep in your consciousness is what you will be on the lookout for. So if you keep negativity in your consciousness, you would expect only negative things. And my dearest viewer, listener, you watching me, you cannot be expecting good to occur when all you know is bad, when all you are conscious of is bad. If good was occurring, you would not be able to identify it. You wouldn't be able to see it. And so I tell you this, self-forgive, re-engineer your beliefs, change it, a total mind overhaul. A Christian perspective, the Bible will put it this way: renew your mind by the word of God. And I recommend that strongly. I recommend that strongly, right? So I always recommend Jesus above every other thing. So re-engineer your belief system and then start acting in line with what you believe. It works like magic, but it doesn't work instantaneously. What I mean by works like magic is the more you rehearse your belief, the more you are aware of it, the more you are conscious of it, the more it fills your mind, the more it's all you see, the more you begin to see it. Regardless. So you have to find your spirit again, and this is the final bit. You have to revive your spirit again to push forward. So the person who was expecting negativity is not the same person that would be expecting positivity, because the one that's expecting negativity would give up easily, would accept some things, would not throw in, would not put in the fight, would not put themselves out there. This other person needs to be the opposite. Totally. You see, the truth is, it's easier to be the opposite of bad because we know that everything we're going to have to do must be good. It's not easy to be the opposite of good because sometimes there are some things that are not bad, but they are also not good. That's the problem. It's very tough switching from good to bad because you may not really land up in bad per se. You may land up in a confused state, in a limbo. But it's super easy to switch from bad to good. It's so easy to convert darkness to light. We just need to introduce light. Or you cannot turn light to darkness. It's almost impossible because in turning light to darkness, you take out light. But you don't need to take out darkness. You just need to introduce light. So it's easy for bad. I think I just dropped the revelation here. It's easy for you to change from bad to good than it is for you to change from good to bad because there is nothing that can drown out light. If it is light, then no matter the darkness around it, light will shine. All right? And so this is why I'm telling you this in this month, so that you put keen attention, you put yourself closely, you look inwardly and begin to edit the repercussions you're expecting. I've not eaten for the past 5 days. I should be sick. No. Eat, rest well. You should not be sick. It's not stamped that anybody, if that is the case, people who have stayed longer and never had those issues, what their own jazz even we ask? Nothing. So please, my dear, stop expecting evil at every mistake or every wrong action and stop expecting it to endure. No. Think the best of yourself. Think the best for yourself. And God bless you till I see you next month. I hope I was able to pass a message. I am famous for a Chijoke. Remember, the mindset is that which informs your actions and inaction. And if you always expect repercussions, you will not just have the experience of repercussions, you will also create repercussions for yourself. Think the best of yourself. There's so much ahead for you. God bless you.